All right, Pac Minis back with page 4 of 11.8. Big problem here, then the rest of these be a little bit simpler, okay? So Rich is building a travel crate for his dog, Thomas, a Beagle mix, who's about 30 inches long, 12 inches wide, and 24 inches tall. So for Thomas to travel safely, his crate needs to be a rectangular prism, cool, that is 12 inches greater than its height, length, and width, and 6 inches greater than its height. What is the volume of the crate? So what we're going to do is we're going to put length equals 30, right? That's how long his dog is, all right? Width is 12, right there, and the height of the dog is 24, okay? And so now I got to add in my changes here, right? So what should I add to the length? Go back to the text. Good. I'm going to add 12 to the length and the width. 12 inches greater than the length and the width. Greater means more, right? So I'm going to add my 12. Add my 12. And then how much taller than the dog does it need to be? 6 inches greater than the height, right? So we're going to add 6. So we're going to get 30. We're going to get 12 plus 12 is 24, right? And then 42. 0 plus 2, 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. And really what I've got here is 42 times 24 times 30. Volume equals length times width times height. In order to do this, I'm going to have to separate these out. So I'm going to save 30 for the end because I know if I multiply by 30, I really just need to multiply by 3 and add a 0, right? So let's go. Length times width is 42 times 24. Okay. 4 times 2, 8. Great. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, if I multiply by this 2, what am I really multiplying by? 20, so I add a 0, right? So I put my 0 here. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Great. Okay, 8 plus 0, 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry my 1, put my 0 there. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10. All right, so I get 1008. So this is my base area, right? Length times width. Base equals length times width. So that's my area of my base. Now I got to multiply it by how tall it is. So I'm going to take 1008 and I'm going to multiply it by 3 because it's 30, and then I'm going to add a 0 to that. So times 3. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. Carry my 2. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2, 2. Hey, look, I came out to 24. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 1 is 3. And then, what did I say? Add a 0. Okay, so add my 0. Put my 0 back in there. I get 30,240. So my answer here, where I didn't give myself a lot of room, is 30,240. This is going to be inches cubed. All right. Like I told you, it's going to be a big old number, right? 30,240 inches cubed. All right. What happens to the volume of a rectangular prism if you double the height? What do you think is going to happen? If I double the height, what will it do to the volume? So guess, it's going to double it, quadruple it, triple it, what? Okay, if you don't know, best thing to do is go, well, let's try one. Since volume equals length times width times height, what's the simplest cube I could have? A rectangular prism. It's a unit cube, right? So if we go 1 times 1 times 1, well, that of course is 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 1 is, of course, 1 unit cube. Now, if it says double the height, I'm just going to go, well, volume equals 1 times 1 times 2. What's 1 times 1? 1, of course. And what's 1 times 2? 2, right? 2 units cubed. What did it do to the volume? Doubled it, right? And if I double 2 of them, it's 2 times 2. It'll quadruple it. It's exponential. We talked about this before. So it will double it. Okay, and another example might be 2 times 2 times 2, right? Which equals 4 times 2, which is 8. And if I go 2 times 2 times 4. Okay, how much is that? Well, 2 times 2 is still 4, and 4 times 4 is 16, right? See how, again, it doubled from 8 to 16. But always start with small little cubes. If there's a rule, it's just as applicable to a unit cube as it is to a gigantic monster cube like this one, right? Okay, describe the difference between area and volume. So area, and we'll do volume. So what is area? Area is length times width, right? How many dimensions is that? It's 2-dimensional. Okay, this is surface space. Okay, it's surface space. How much is on the surface? What's the area of this? How much is on the surface? They're going to talk about surface area pretty soon for you with rectangular prisms, right? So surface area. Area is how much is on top. If I want to get new carpet, I need to know the area of my floor plan, right? I don't need to know the volume. I don't care how thick my carpet. Well, I want my carpet to be, semi-thick, right? Soft and squishy. But in order to fit the carpet in here, right, I need to know the area of it, right? If I want to fill up my pool, I got to know the volume of it. So volume is length times width times height. It's 3 dimensions. Okay. It is, we call it capacity. It's how much space does something take up? Okay, how much space does it take up? How much room does it take up and how much space does it take up are two different things, right? For instance, it's not the best example, but how much room does this take up or space does this take up if I set it on my table? Well, it's going to take up, 2 by 2, 4 inches squared, right? Okay. But I want to know how much space it's going to take up. How tall is it? Am I going to have room? Is it going to fit in my house on my desk? If this was, at the height of this was 25 feet, it'd go right through my roof, right? So that's the difference. Okie dokes, folks. John used 1-inch cubes to make a rectangular prism shown for numbers 9a through 9d. Write the value from the tiles that makes each statement correct. Each value can be used more than once, or maybe not at all. So each cube has a volume of what? Well, what kind of cubes are we using here? I mean, you can tell this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 by 5, right? It must be 1, okay? Because if this is 1 up and 1 over, and this is 7 back, you know that they're 1 by 1 by 1. So they're 1 cubic inch, which is what you're going to get most of the time. Each layer of the prism is made up of how many cubes? Well, this is my base area, right? Base area equals 5 times 7, which is what? 35 inches squared, because I multiplied only 2 numbers. 35 cubes, because it's got a height of only 1. When I talk about cube, it's a unit cube. This is a volume of 1. So we're looking at just one single layer. That would be a 1 right there, if you can see that. Okay. There are how many layers of cubes? Well, there are 5. That's my height. It's my layers of cake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the volume is going to be 35. I'll rewrite it. 35 times 5, right? 5 times 5, I love that one. 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 3, fitting, plus 2, 17. 175 cubic inches. All right, guys. Homework's next.